Deception. Deception of the American people. That's where I'll start.
The banksters had a death grip.
Can I come in the house, please? I need diapers for my daughter.
This lady is one of millions of Americans losing their homes.
You gotta get off the property.
Foreclosed on.
Get your kid and yourself off the property. This is a bank-owned property now. You can't be here anymore.
Most of the time by fraud from our American banks. Now here's Tom, the all-American blue-collar worker, who did everything right.
Hey, Bryce.
And today, he's going to lose it all.
Daddy's not always going to be a mechanic, you know?
FBI! Boom, boom!
The American dream, his home, to provide for his wife and 2 young children.
Hey, Bryce. Hey, buddy. What do you think about, maybe we take the train? You want to take the train?
Yeah, I want to take the train, yeah.
Okay.
This was the state of the good, hard-working American people. Was Tom going to be able to keep his family together with a roof over their heads?
Casey, hi, Daddy. Honey, are you going to come over?
Hey, what's the matter with Lil? Why is she crying? Honey, they can't do that. He can't lock you out of the house.
Okay, I'll tell you.
All right, now just get off the property.
No, it's gonna be fine. We'll work it out. Don't worry. Let me talk to Lil.
Hi, guys.
Hi, baby.
The banksters foreclosed on more than 6 million homes between 2007 and 2011, and an additional staggering 10.9 million families are underwater with their homes. The bank didn't even hold a mortgage note and had no standing to foreclose.
Ezra, it's me, Bernie. Listen, we have to transfer all of the preferred clients' funds from Switzerland and London to your bank in Israel.
Interesting that Swiss banking laws changed just after Madoff moved his clients' money out of Swiss banks. Oh, one more thing. Now, banksters do believe in the golden rule. Those who have the gold, rule.
Today, it is my pleasure to welcome the buyers of Bank Lume. We had always felt that we would be able to get a very good price for the shares of the bank.
Yes.
In fact, we raised 2.5 billion shekels. And this is a great help in offsetting Israel's national debt. And what is more, we are confident that this deal with Bank Lume is going to attract other foreign investment to Israel. Furthermore, the privatization of the banks
now, these guys are
is the first step in Israel's program of privatization, which we plan to greatly expand.
Wait, let me guess. One world currency.
And as finance minister,
So, it's been
make
widely
a
reported
solemn-
that Israel's finance minister, Ehud Olmert, funneled money to Frank Lowy, the co-owner of the Twin Towers with Larry Silverstein, a Madoff investor.
My firm will continue to invest in Israel. It is our duty, it is our pleasure, it is our business, of course. Thank you, Minister.
Michael to plan concerts which were overbooked by 3 times. They collected on them, and then Michael mysteriously murdered. Michael Jackson was exposing the depopulation plans. The plans were 80%, and he was planning to do this at the end of his concerts. This is one of the reasons they killed him.
It was time to confirm connections from another source. Connections to Larry Silverstein, a Madoff investor. So I needed to meet with a veteran filmmaker, the father of the original Illuminati albums, and still the king of conspiracy. So I met with Anthony Hilder. There's got to be a connection with this Madoff and the 9/11. And,
well, Silverstein is the answer. That's the connection.
Larry, the owner of the World Trade Center.
Sure, I mean, he knew what the hell was going to happen. He knew when it was going to happen. He got the insurance. He wound up with the insurance, and 3,000 people died. The buildings cannot go down with Jet A fuel. It burns at about 800 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit for steel to melt.
If what Anthony was telling me was correct, here's what the 9/11 scene would look like.
Yeah, this is Larry.
Hello, Mr. Silverstein.
Has the lease been fully executed?
What Mr. X was telling me was not pretty. What percentage of Americans believe the official story anyway?
Good.
So let's see, a few guys in a cave took box cutters and took over America, the strongest military in the world? It never hurts to get both sides of the story.
AIG, please hold.
Yes, this is Larry Silverstein.
Hello, Mr. Silverstein. I put you right through.
Larry, I'm glad you called. What's the status?
It's done. We're in the towers. You finalize the policy, and it's a done deal. The pawns are in position. You tell me what the status is.
We got everything we need. All the documents have been signed. The squeaky wheels have plenty of oil. We'll have the policy done within the hour.
I'll be waiting. Is that AIG quote still good?
We got you insured for $3.6 billion. And that's for one plane.
What the hell are you talking about?
The two planes will get you 7.2.
I love it. Just so I understand, my first installment is only $124 million. Right? Good.
Bye, Larry. Take care.
We're gonna make a killing. We're gonna make a killing. George.
This is George.
It's Larry.
Yes, Larry.
Everything is in place. Are you ready to begin the renovation?
What about the money?
George, I've got $250 million allocated. Will that be enough?
That's what we discussed. Nothing's changed.
We'll be in touch. Okay?
Got it.
But the world did note that the third building had collapsed at 5:20 p.m., and the BBC news anchor announced its collapse 26 minutes before it collapsed. Hundreds of eyewitnesses reported that explosions were heard and Building 7 did a free fall with no resistance. Experts say it's scientifically impossible.
$7 billion he made in the payoff on the Twin Towers was invested in Madoff.
Okay, so let's get this straight. It seems that all these bad guys are mysteriously connected and protected by the mainstream media. We got Frank Lowy, Larry Silverstein, AIG's Maurice Greenberg, Israel's finance minister Omar, Ezra Merkin, and yes, our boy Bernard Madoff.
You goddamn stupid son of a bitch! You're supposed to be keeping a lid on this motherfucker. Look, I talk, you listen.
We all saw in primetime news Rumsfeld saying
That's right, Rumsfeld.
The Ullage was missing from the Pentagon budget. And no one could find it.
Yeah, September 10th.
He went on to say that he
September
knew it was
11th.
in the Pentagon, and he was going to find it.
Wow.
Conveniently, the next day was the attack on the Pentagon. And the only part of the building that was hit was the place where the records were kept.
Google that.
The banksters would use 9/11 and attempt to strip Americans of all their constitutional rights. There would be violent staged events to scare Americans into giving up the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. I already had more scenes than I needed for the movie, but connecting this next dot was a big one. The London Interbank Offered Rate. LIBOR gets its name from the City of London, and it has its base there, and so does every major bank in the world. LIBOR is the interest rate that participating banks offer to other banks for loans on the London market. There is $800 trillion in securities linked to LIBOR, including auto and home loans, even student loans. Now this gets really interesting, because later on something would happen to tie all this together. March 2011, regulators were focused on a few American banks, with subpoenas issued to 3 of those banks. 2 men were set to testify before the U.S. Senate for the case against the LIBOR abuse, implementing 16 international banks. These men were Peter Lanza and Robert Holmes. A year later, on July 20, 2012, there was a Colorado theater mass shooting, said to kill 12 people and injured 58. The shooter accused was James Holmes. Yes, the son of Robert Holmes, the scientist for credit score FICO, expert witness, scheduled to testify against LIBOR and the big banksters.
Now, what are the odds of that?
On December 14, 2012, a boy was accused of shooting 20 children and 6 adults. It was called the Sandy Hook Massacre, and the shooter's name was Andy Lanza, son of, yes, Peter Lanza, expert witness, tax director for GE Financial,
who has a huge division in the home loan market.
They confuse people. They confuse,
right, and they deliberately do it. They show themselves on the media, on the world's scene as being Jews. The Jewish state, they call it. Mm-hmm. And that's why we object to the term the Jewish state, because we don't think that what they do represents Judaism at all.
What you're looking at here is actually the life cycle of a planet. Started from a molten ball of rock, is going to end up an enlightened civilization, free of the scourge of war and injustice. But we're not there yet. This is a planet in transition. The best metaphor for this is the way that a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. In the beginning of its life, it crawls around in 2 dimensions on the surface of leaves, eating, defecating, destroying, and consuming. When the first cells of the emerging butterfly appear, they are attacked by the immune system of the caterpillar, its internal police. This is natural, for the butterfly cells represent a very real threat to the established order of the caterpillar.
Did these wings I found will carry me above this tortured ground? I will reach that beautiful horizon.
The attack, however, is futile, because the transformation to the butterfly is programmed at the genetic level. Eventually, the butterfly cells overwhelm the established order, and the butterfly emerges. Whereas the caterpillar spent all of its time crawling around in 2 dimensions, eating and defecating, the butterfly takes flight, pollinating flowers, bringing new life and beauty to the world. This is the life cycle of a planet such as yours, and it is as inevitable as the butterfly's journey.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
So be strong, be courageous, and know that your mission is vital.